everyone. Welcome in. It is the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I am Tim Dennis, your host. Got a great show for you today. Travis Thorpe in today for Jessica Freeberg, and we'll have him in for Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals in just a bit. But first, I want to tell you folks about an incredibly interesting book that I got the pleasure of reading over the weekend with a good friend of ours who's back on the program. Murder in the Graveyard, a family cult tragedy, is the name of the book by our good friend Frank Stanfield, who's back with us. And, you know, I always say on this program, some of the best cases I guess we get are from Florida. Florida man seems to be an obsession with you guys here on this program, and this is no exception. Boy, I tell you, this case, folks, is something else. And we like to talk about cult mentality, I guess, on the show too. There's a bit of a cult mentality to this book. There's a murder involved in this book, and much, much more. And we'll get into it with Frank here in just a moment. Let me tell you a little bit about Frank and remind you about Frank before we bring him in. Frank Stanfield is a veteran newspaper journalist who's worked in Central Florida for most of his 40 years in the business. You may remember him from other books that we've had on this program. I'll just drop a couple of things for you here. Vampire case, werewolf, alligators, crocodiles, and much, much more. There you go. There's your little teaser. Let's bring him in right now. Frank Stanfield. Frank, thank you so much for being back on the program.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So, Frank, before we launch into Murder in the Graveyard, a family cult tragedy, I've got to ask you this. Okay, so would you say the vampire case was the craziest case you've ever covered?
Yeah, that's the one in a career type of story there. You don't actually hear about you hear the first time I heard vampire cult murders, my hands actually paused over the keyboard like, what is this, for real or not, you know? Yeah. But yes, it's crazy, it's real.
This case, by the way, also incredibly complex, incredibly is it okay, but is it Florida? Is it just Florida that you're finding that you're running into these unusual cases, or really is this just, I've heard two schools of thought here. I've heard it's just because Florida has this disclosure law that this is the reason why you're hearing about all these unusual cases, or is it really this is a nationwide phenomena and the spotlight is just on Florida?
Well, here's the thing. Everybody comes to Florida. They want to escape the cold. They want to escape the state taxes. They want to escape all that stuff, and they all come here. And sometimes they're dislocated from their family, you know, the family roots and the ties and so on that keep you sane. So people just go crazy. And of course, every drifter, every serial killer comes down here at some time or another. And Florida is a great place to dump bodies. There's forests, there's the ocean, there's rivers and swamps, and, you know, there's alligators you can feed the corpses to. I mean, it's just crazy. So it's just, I don't know, it's something about it. It's just, and it gets so hot in the summertime that I think your brain cooks a little bit sometimes if you're out in it too long.
I can't disagree with you there. It just, man, the stories that come out of there. And I have no problems. I got to tell you, in our second segment here, Frank, I have no problems whatsoever every single week pulling 5 to 7 stories out of Florida every single week. There's no issue. And there's such bizarre stories.
They are. I mean, the border, the Georgia-Florida border, they should put up a fence, I think, because the people are just pouring in, you know. Mm-hmm. They're coming in from New York and every other place. So that's part of it, you know. It's crazy.
I got to ask you that question, too, because it seems like maybe even 40 years ago, maybe that was the start of it. 40 years ago, 50 years ago, you started getting the mafia families pouring in that were, you know, the so-called retired gangsters pouring in from New York. Was that the beginning of the real hardcore criminals coming in from Florida or from New York to Florida to begin this stuff?
You know, it actually started in the 20s and the 30s, I think. Bootleggers, I mean, you got this gigantic coastline, you could, you know, smuggle booze in, you could, you know, do all that sort of thing. So, and then of course you've got serial killers that come here like Ted Bundy. That was about 40, 50 years ago. Yeah. So, it's just madness.
Yeah. Crazy. The Anselmo family. Let's turn our attention to the family that's the family here in Murder in the Graveyard, a family cult tragedy, which, by the way, is put up by Wild Blue Press. We have a link in the description of this program. Again, I encourage you guys to go get the book. The Anselmo family. Let's set this up a little bit here, Frank. Tell us a little bit about this family. Let's start with the patriarch of the family, John Anselmo.
John Anselmo was a teacher in the Lake County school system from 2007 to 2015, I think it was. And he was an interesting character. He's always been very aggressive. He got fired from the school system for making threats. Very aggressive, always wanting to fight people and so on. So, and his father was a convicted felon out of California, and the two of them made custom knives. That's what their big thing was. So he married Sue Ellen Anselmo several years earlier, and Sue Ellen and he had several children together, 6 children. He already had 3 children from a previous marriage, but he basically, what happened was this homicide. We'll talk about the homicide in a minute.
Sure.
But basically, she came into the marriage with a biological daughter. Her name was Chloe, and he adopted her and changed her name to Deja Thoris, which is a name for a character in Edgar Rice Burroughs' book. So what happened was we had this terrible crime, and what happened was, as a result of that, the lid was blown off of this secret family cult and all the dynamics that went into it. So I can explain the murder if you like.
Yeah, let's do this. I want to focus a little bit on the family first, and then get into the crime, because I find the family dynamic interesting here, and then I want to get into the crime itself, because I think that kind of explains why.
Yes, exactly.
So I want to focus on Deja for a second here, and the reason why John, why Deja isn't Deja's real name, right? Right.
His real name was Chloe, but he changed it to Deja Thoris. Who is this? Deja Thoris it's in this Edgar Rice Burroughs Martian Princess series. And so what happens with her, she's a very courageous young woman. Mm-hmm. And because of her, all this comes about. But she left home at age 18, ran away from home. There's the way she described it. She ran away to her grandparents' home. And for 2 years, basically, John would not allow her to have much contact with her mother. And she was very attached to her young siblings, step siblings, and even to Ian, who's later convicted of murder. So she made a deal. He says, I got a deal for you. Look, if you join the Air Force, then I'll let you talk to your siblings. So she did, and of course he reneged right away. Okay. That's the kind of manipulative, controlling person that John Anselmo is. Well, so time goes on, she reestablishes contact with her mother and says, well, the reason I left was because he was sexually assaulting me.
Yikes.
And so that starts the whole thing.
Okay, and that's kind of the flashpoint there.
Right.
Now, let's talk a little bit about Ian, who is the accused killer here. Ian is also one of the children in the family here.
Right.
Tell us exactly who Ian is and how he figures into this.
He is 20 years old in this story at the time of the crime. He's John's eldest son, and he's like a Mensa-level genius. But because these kids are so isolated, basically he just clamps down. He and John Anselmo insists that they only watch certain TV shows like old Bob Hope shows and The Wiggles we're talking teenagers watching the Wiggles and stuff.
That's crazy.
They're not allowed to have any friends, no phone, no car, no nothing, and no contact with the outside world, basically. So Ian has this. They call him like a child in a man's body, because even though he's this genius and all, he plays with toys. He's got two toys of stuff like a puppy dog kind of thing, and another little plastic figure, sort of like a Ninja Turtle thing. And so he plays with these toys. And he's also from the age of about 10 to 12, somewhere in there, he's on medication for ADHD and depression. So from a very early age, he's on these medications. So that's who he is.
Now, there's another bit player here, and there's another child here. Is it Rajko? Is that his name, or Rajko?
It's not Rajo.
Rajo. Is that's how you pronounce it? Okay.
Yeah. Now he's 10 years old in this story to start with. So what happens with him is he's the golden boy. He's the golden child, and he's the favorite child of John. So he actually sleeps with John, and so the family's divided. John pits the kids against each other and against Sue Ellen, his wife, who's a very successful hairdresser in Eustis, Florida. So he's always telling the kids, well, she cheated on me, and she used to drink a lot, and she used to take drugs and all this sort of thing. So she would come in from working her tail off and wanting to sit down on the couch and just, crunch some ice or something in a drink and of water. Mm-hmm. And he would like berate her and try to get the kids, tell the kids, well, she's just lazy and she doesn't care about you and all this sort of thing. Meanwhile, she keeps getting pregnant. She has 6 children with John.
Wow.
So she likes having babies. That's the thing. That's the setup.
Well, she likes it, or she's being forced to have these babies by John?
Well, John claims that she actually raped him. She wanted to have kids so bad. Can you imagine somebody saying that about your wife? I mean, it's amazing.
And as people start to dig in to the book, again, the book is Murder in the Graveyard, a family cult tragedy. As they begin to dig into this book, there's different sides of the story being thrown around all the way around. Tell us a little bit about Sue Ellen here now, Frank, because Sue Ellen is one who's, it seems like at points, conflicted in her own life. It seems like there are tales being spun about her. You've already alluded to it a little bit here, that John's spinning this tale of she's completely mentally ill. Deja has her tale of what her mother is. But who was Sue Ellen?
Well, it's interesting because I got to know Deja's brother, Eric Anselmo, and who was the second oldest boy of John. And originally, he's telling the authorities, well, yes, my mother's crazy. She throws things. We can't trust her to bathe the children by herself. She might drown the kids and all this sort of thing. But later, he also leaves the house, is hospitalized for a while. And he became a very good source for me. He said, so even if she did cheat on John, then so be it. I mean, he was a monster. She deserved, to have happiness. I don't know that it's true or not, he says, but, and John says, well, she would go and beat her head against the wall and all this. And Deja says, no, that didn't happen. And Deja says, no, she didn't cheat. But so Eric says, well, yeah, she did bang her head against the wall because she was absolutely at her wit's end, trying to deal with the situation. So there's a lot of conflict, a lot of turmoil going on here.
There's one more factor that's introduced here that makes you think that John is triggered to a point here, and we'll introduce this factor, and then we'll get to the actual crime that occurs here, Frank. And that's this, that Deja eventually, even though, and there's one more thing that we haven't talked about here, and that's where this factor comes in. The kids aren't allowed to date at all, correct?
Right.
Okay. And so contact is cut off from the outside world completely, right?
Yeah. They belong to, John has them belonging to this little Catholic splinter group. But there's only like 20 members in the church or something. That's their only contact with the outside world until Deja finally is allowed to go attend a community college. John drives her there, doesn't allow her to have her own phone and all that. Then she gets kind of exposed to other people who say, this ain't right here. What's going on with your family? This is not right. And so she gets to have an independent kind of a mindset going on here. And that's another thing that just lights the fuse here.
So you've got that going on there now. So I think we've pretty much set the table here to tell people exactly what goes on that fateful night with Sue Ellen. Tell us a little bit about what goes on that fateful night.
Okay. Well, a couple of things. On March the 13th, 2019, she leaves John. First of all, she goes with Deja and her husband. She's married at this point. They go get the 6 biological children that she shared with John. So they go to the house, get the kids, take them over to Deja's house. Well, that, of course, John flips out. He can't stand it because now he has no control. He and Ian write all these emails and make all these phone calls. They're begging her to come back, or they're threatening her to come back, like, verbal threats. And, well, I'm going to tell the kids you're crazy and all kinds of stuff like this. So this goes back and forth. And that kind of sets the stage for this tension, this incredible tension. So finally, one of the things that Sue Ellen does is she tells John, says, look, Ian keeps wanting to meet with me, and I don't know what to think, because he told me he wanted to strangle me with my own intestines. So I don't know what to believe.
Ooh.
So this is going on for like 5 days. Finally, she agrees to meet with Ian. Ian had written this book. It's a comic book kind of thing, and had it published. So they were trying to have a little family celebration, and he said, I just want to talk with you and all this. So she finally agrees to meet with him. So there's a cemetery near their family home that it's called Greenwood Cemetery, and she says, I'll meet you there. It's near the family home, within walking distance, and there is it's a special place for the family because their parish priest was buried there. They had future plots bought by John there and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So she meets him there. Well, what happens then is things go really badly wrong. So the first thing anybody realizes what's going on is he makes a phone call to 911. And he's like crying, and sometimes he sounds lucid. Sometimes he's like howling like a wounded animal. He's crying, says, I killed somebody. Who did you kill? My stepmother. I think I strangled her. And the dispatcher says, you think or you did? And so they get out there, the police come, and he's in the car. Well, Sue Ellen has been strangled manually and strangled with a phone cord, and he hit her so hard in the jaw that he broke her jaw.
Jeez.
Now he's training to become a professional wrestler. Mm-hmm. Now he's not a giant guy like Hulk Hogan, but he's very strong and very fit.
Right.
So this is what's going on.
Yeah, and we should explain to people, and I worked in the Indies for about 10 years, and I should tell people that just because you hear the word professional wrestler doesn't mean that these guys don't know how to shoot. They don't know how to take you apart. Even the smallest guy knows how to take you apart. So yeah, he's still pretty dangerous. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So one of the things he says is, my dad is going to be so upset with me. He's upset that he killed her, but he doesn't ever ask, well, how's she doing? Is she okay or not? He says he was just concerned about what his dad was going to say. That's the kind of influence that he was under with his dad. So she's in a coma for 5 days. She doesn't die right away. She's pregnant, by the way. She's 6 weeks pregnant. So finally, they take her to the hospital, and they finally have to take her off life support. So that just sets the stage for more family violence and more craziness. Because after she's buried, and John says, okay, well, we're having a, I'm sorry.
I tell you what, Frank, let's do this. Let's take our break here. When we come back, let's talk about the aftermath of all of this.
Okay. All right.
And what happens with the Anselmos? Because as you mentioned, things start to kind of go awry at this point. It doesn't get any easier because Ian's kind of started to create these divisions. And you start to find out just exactly how John's little kingdom starts to fall apart at that point. The book is Murder in the Graveyard, a family cult tragedy. It's put out by Wild Blue Press. Frank Stanfield is the author of this amazingly chilling book, a wonderful book at that. I want you to go out and get it during the break. We have a link in the description of this program, folks. Go get this book. When we come back, we'll talk about the Anselmo family and John's little cultish kingdom and how it all starts to topple next here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest is Frank Stanfield. The name of the book, Murder in the Graveyard, a family cult tragedy. Again, it's put out by Wild Blue Press. We have a link in the description of this program. Again, folks, this is a chilling book. If you think you know the way this book is going, there are so many twists and turns in this book. And I'll tell you, it will chill you. A lot of the books that Frank puts out there, again, there's vampires, gators, and wackos that's out there. You've got that one out there as well, Frank. A lot of them can be linked up, and we'll have them linked up here in the description of the program, so you can go get some of Frank's other books as well. Frank's a very gifted author, very gifted storyteller, and boy, you have some books out there. Cold Blooded, a true crime story of a murderous teenage vampire cult. That one is Frank, you've got some great ones out there, but this one, Murder in the Graveyard, a family cult tragedy, is one that will show you a truly dark side of just an American family and how you don't know who is living next to you, folks. I mean, it's just, I tell you, it's a dark one, Frank. It really is a dark one. When we left people, we were talking about the Anselmo family, how Ian had just killed his stepmother, Sue Ellen, in the graveyard. And at this point now, Ian's called 911. Sue Ellen has died in the hospital after 5 days, and things are starting to come apart. Is it at this point that Deja's already out of the house, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what goes on here now? Deja is interred into the graveyard, into one of the plots, yes?
Sue Ellen, yes.
Sue Ellen, I'm sorry. Sue Ellen, I'm sorry. So many names. Sue Ellen is given the proper burial, but does Deja show up at the funeral?
No, John has a separate funeral. She's not invited, but a little private ceremony. But Deja has a major, big-time memorial service at a local church. I mean, hundreds of people show up for that. So Sue Ellen is buried in the same cemetery where this happened. And so Deja was putting flowers out on the grave on a regular basis, but somebody kept removing the flowers. She said, what's going on? So she put a trail camera up in a tree, and soon enough she sees John and some of the other children that come over, and they're removing the flowers. So she says, okay, here's what I'm going to do. A lot of my mother's customers and their friends, they can come out to the cemetery on a Saturday. This is right before Easter, and they can put flowers down. And we'll just, have a nice little get together out at the cemetery. So while she's doing that, then all of a sudden John shows up in the van with two of the children. Nico, she's about 15 years old, juvenile. This is his biological daughter,
Okay.
and Rayjo. So, and they show up and they attack Deja. And Nico and other people at the cemetery. So Nico is like pulling hanks of hair out of her Deja's head and trying to choke her. And later she says in court, she says, "Well, I wasn't trying to choke her. I was trying to gouge her eyes out."
Oh, geez.
So they get that under control. Well, what happens though is I should say, while Sue Ellen was still alive and living with Deja for a few days, and they had gathered the 6 biological children that she had with John. They're all at this Deja's house. Rayjo tries to strangle Sue Ellen with a blanket. He's 10 years old. So they have to let him go back to John because he's so violent, so unpredictable. So that gives you some idea of the family dynamic there too. So now, so Ian is in jail. He's writing letters and sending a text to his dad. "Get me out of here. This is awful. Jail's crazy place." And he says, by the way, he says, "Let the kids play with my toys." Now this guy's 20 years old and Mensa level genius. He says, "Let the kids play with my Paw Patrol toys and all this sort of thing." And you go, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Now, so what happens is this all sets the stage for a private attorney to come in and say, "Oh, we're going to plead not guilty by reason of insanity." And part of this whole thing is that he was once Sue Ellen left, he couldn't find his antidepressant. So this becomes a big bone of contention for the defense attorney. Well, he had a psychotic break because his antidepressant he couldn't have access to it. It's called a withdrawal, medication withdrawal. That led to this whole thing. So that's the big defense, their big trial. Now we're going to call all these psychological experts as experts for the defense, and then the state calls their expert to dispute what these other guys are saying. And that's part of the book too, is this really gives you an idea of what goes on with these kind of insanity cases and how really there's some major problems with these so-called experts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're experts, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But what kind of methodology are they using? What don't they ask? What don't they look at as far as evidence and so on? And it gets to be a very interesting thing.
What I found intriguing too, Frank, is the trumping one expert with another expert.
Yeah.
And what you choose to use, what you don't choose to use, and pretty much the throwing one expert on another to see if you can outmaneuver, and how you can't use one expert, say and I'm not using this from the book, but I'm just using this per se as an example. If the prosecution is using an expert and they say something that may be in favor of the defense, well, the defense can't go back and use that same expert. They have to just throw the baby out with the bathwater. That expert's done. I find that intriguing, that even though that expert may have information that may be useful to the defense, it doesn't matter. That right. Expert's now over and done with, and we just throw them out and we start over.
Yeah, you can hire, for example, a defense attorney can hire an expert and he can do an evaluation or, whatever, an opinion. But if it doesn't jive with whatever the defense wants to hear, he just dismisses the expert. You never hear from him again. You know what he even said. Now, so there's a lot of things like that.
Is that because they consider that expert tainted at that point, that we brought this person in to fight for us, that person can't fight for you? Is it tainting the jury?
It's basically like you're paying these experts to say what you want them to say, and if they don't say it, then at least if you do present them, you got to say, well, but you could also say this, right? And in fact, the defense attorney is a really good attorney. Hornsby is his name, Richard Hornsby out of Orlando. He says, well, you know, he calls psychology a soft science, which it is.
A soft science?
Soft science, because it's not like you can present all this data. It's like an opinion. Like they have what they call the psychological Bible. It's a diagnostic statistical manual. They call it DSM. And so if you think this person has a certain kind of psychological problem, it's listed in this book. But there's certain criteria for every kind of thing. And it gets to be really interesting, because if you're going to claim that your client is insane, in other words, didn't know what he was doing was wrong, or didn't know that there would be consequences for it, then you have to prove it as a defense attorney. And normally in trials, the prosecutor always has the burden. But in this case, you're presumed sane.
Yeah.
Which, if you're dealing with journalists, I don't know if that's really the case or not sometimes. But anyway.
What's interesting is in this book, and I just had John Hinckley on the program, and you bring up the Hinckley case, and the fact that after Hinckley, the insanity defense became incredibly hard in this country to prosecute.
It is.
And there are reasons for that. I get that. And I get why it is. Because but soft science, I might take a little bit of umbrage with that, because there is a chemical process in which it's very easy to, at least with the chemical process now, you can't prove behavioral depression necessarily, but you can prove chemical depression. It can be treated with a pill. You can prove certain chemical reactions because it can be treated chemically. So I don't know about soft science.
Yeah, well, he said that when the state was testifying, that expert, he wasn't saying it about his experts.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's that. So yeah, you're right. There's MRIs. But the defense. They had these toxicologists and other people testifying, and it's interesting too, because he had one of the experts that the defense had was this psychiatrist that had treated Ian as a child. So then, after he's charged with murder, then he goes without anybody asking him to, and starts coming up with different diagnoses for Ian. Oh yeah, well, before I said he had depression and ADHD, but now I'm saying, yeah, he had PTSD and he had this thing called schizotypal, which is odd behavior, and But here's the other thing: if you are going to claim your client is mentally ill, or rather insane, you have to show there was a previous history of mental illness, and has to be serious level of mental illness. So that was a bone of contention in this thing too, because this previous doctor said, well, it was depression, and ADHD, but is that enough to make you insane if you quit taking your medicine? That was the big bone of contention. So the state said, no, he was not insane. He was angry. He was angry because what happened in that meeting in the cemetery. Sue Ellen says, Ian says, what about the children? They're going to be so upset, you leaving and everything. And she said, they'll get over it. And that just flipped the switch for him. Because interestingly enough, ungovernable rage, they call it, is not insanity.
Right.
it's it's a maybe it's a mitigating circumstance, maybe it's diminished capacity, but it's not legally insane. So that's the other thing. So the jury's got to weigh all this out. I mean, they're not experts, in psychology or whatever. They just got to decide after hearing all this testimony and the whole thing. And they were hear about the whole family because the defense attorney is telling everybody how crazy John is. He kept using the word crazy. He says, "This is crazy, 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 crazy." He's like hammering the table and everything, yelling and stuff. And he talks about all this bizarre behavior. And he says he was under the influence of his dad. This was a cult, all this crazy behavior. And the dad set all this up because he claimed that Ian's biological mother kidnapped them when he was a baby and, all this. So he was throwing all the blame on John. And that's what defense attorneys do, too. They say, don't look at my guy. Look over here at this guy. This is the problem over here. So that's another thing that they do.
You bring up an interesting side note, and I think maybe we should address it for just a brief moment. We could leave the rest for the book, and that is some of the children's real mother, who gets mentioned briefly, but it's kind of a side note, and that is that the real mother had brief contact with Deja, correct? But very little.
Well, what happened was Deja was raised by her mother. Her father, left the family. So that was fine. Then when she's about 13 or something like that, something like maybe even younger, then Sue Ellen gets married to John. So then they're all together. But what happens was because when Deja ran away from home at 18, then John wouldn't allow her to have any contact with her mother. Very controlling. So when Deja had this burning desire to get back in contact with, so she wrote a letter and saying, "This is the reason I left, was because of John doing this thing to me." And so that's what. And so when Sue Ellen hears this allegation about sexual misconduct, she leaves. She takes the children with her and she leaves and is furious with John. And so that's the stage. So it's the family dynamic that, in a way, is very understandable. And see, here's the thing: Deja is very, very bright too. She's not a Mensa genius, but she's very bright. She's a nursing student. She wants to be a surgeon. Very smart, very courageous too. Very, she gives this impact statement at the end of the trial, and so does Sue Ellen's mother. Sue Ellen's mother gives this impact statement saying, "I'm a Christian. I forgive you, Ian." That was like, wow. And then she says, basically, she gives a sermon and tells everybody in the courtroom they need to turn to Jesus. That's another remarkable thing about this. So you see the opposites in this case. John with his thing, Cindy, that's the grandmother, and Deja, she's a mother of 3 young girls. She's doing a terrific job. Her husband is a great guy. John, by the way, attacked this husband one time before they were married. I mean, it's a very interesting story.
It's incredibly interesting, and I think if people want to dig into a story that really has these psychological overtones, it just tells you, if you think your family is dysfunctional, just wait until you dig into one that's really dysfunctional. I mean, this is the story that's it. And again, we've really just kind of scratched the surface as far as this goes. Let me ask you this as an aside, Frank. Have you dug back into this family since the book on your own, just to kind of follow up?
Well, Deja has been very, very good about talking to me. I'll ask her questions, and she's been very forthright. And I've got to know Eric, her brother, so stepbrother. So yes, in that way, yes. But I haven't heard from John. Actually, the thing of it is, John is with his violent past. He was one time he showed up at a guy's house with Ian with a gun. and this other guy fired a rifle into the ground to get him away because he thought that he was doing something with Sue Ellen. So I hope not to see I hope not to see him anymore. And the other thing is one thing that spurred me. At first, I didn't want to do a book on this, but that got the more of the thinking about it. I decided I wanted to do it because he blamed the victim. John did.
Yeah.
Let's blame the victim. And she's not alive to defend herself. And I just thought that was wrong.
Yeah.
I always hate to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely. I know this may seem like a gruesome question, but the youngest is how old and has how much time left under John's roof? I assume John still has the kids, right?
Yes, he does. Once Sue Ellen is murdered, the state came and got the kids, gave them back to John. And there was a baby. So yeah, the oldest would be probably Nico would probably be in her 20s now, but there were babies at the time, so they've got a whole lifetime ahead of.
So the baby's got to be what, 6 years old. So this was 2019, so probably 6 years old. Yeah. And
one of the younger children had severe Down syndrome. So that's another sad story.
And you can't trust that John would take care of him.
Hopefully that's the case, because Nico basically has become the mother now. She's and in the trial, they kept saying, well, what about you? You don't have a boyfriend. You don't have, it's just, I don't need one. I'm just happy to raise my brothers. Really? So she's raising the children. She says because her dad has got this bad back, supposedly. So I'm doing things like that, and I'm just thrilled to death with it. Well, you can't help but wonder how long that's going to go on, or what's going to happen to these kids, or what's going to happen to these other folks. It's mind-boggling.
Well, eventually Nico is going to have some sort of self-actualization, self-realization, and go, I'm a person that has wants and needs and have an identity, and then decide that, she's going to want to strike out and do something else, right?
Yeah, you would think. And then basically, too, Deja said these kids were coached in their testimony and what they were saying to the authorities. They were told what to say by John. So how much of it is true? That's the other thing.
I can believe that. Yeah, I totally believe that. Yeah, yeah. As most cult members, let's call it what it is, would be, right? In order to...
and I talk about that too, because, the vampire case, it was a cult, a 16-year-old brings these kids down from Kentucky, and he's like worshiping demons and all this sort of thing. And he's got these kids and fellow classmates in a cult where you isolate them from society. You keep preaching this crazy program at them. And so that's part of the criteria of a cult. Then once you're in it, you have a hard time getting out of it, because then you've invested so much of your lifetime in it. So how do you get out of it? And what's real and what's not real, and all that sort of thing, because you've been isolated. So it's a tough business. But this whole insanity defense thing is interesting too, because basically it's rarely used, because for one thing, jurors don't like it. Yeah. They think it's like you're making an excuse for them, that kind of thing.
Right.
They just don't like it.
You've let them off the hook. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and the whole idea about somebody can be instantly insane temporarily and then go right back to being sane. They have a hard time with that too.
Well, and I think from having interviewed John Hinckley, I think the idea is, you're supposed to go to a hospital and be reformed, and
right.
And eventually there's supposed to be a process where you either get better or you stay there until you're better. Mm-hmm. Well, what's the process of getting better? Where's the where's the line, right? It's a very gray line. There's not a black and white line of in remission or cured versus still ill, right? It's an ongoing moving process of we think he's okay to be released to society, or she, depending on who it is.
Right. I talked in this book about one case, in a famous case in this area, where a woman drowned her children in the bathtub. And they would have these regular court hearings, and she would come before the judge, and the state would say, "Oh, she's fine now." But then before they could even get the words out of their mouth, she would be like trying to saw her arm off or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they said, "Oh, she would deconstitute," they called it.
Yep.
So, you can have relapses and stuff.
Absolutely.
And then, yeah.
And what was interesting talking to John is, he, and again, I'm not saying the way he's put it is, he said he's in remission, for lack of a better term. I don't have the proper term for it, but the way he put it is in St. Elizabeth's, the hospital he was in, they did a thing where they kind of reintroduced him to society in small bits and pieces and spurts to see if he could handle being on the outside. And he was reintroduced by being with his parents and then being brought back in and then out to his parents, back in. And they kept a tight rein on him, probably tighter than most because of course, the crime he committed. But the fact that the way they did it, I think, was probably advantageous for him to try and get him acclimated back to society. I don't think most patients get the attention John Hinckley Jr. got, but if everybody got the attention John Hinckley Jr. got, I think, it probably would be a much better system. I think most people don't get that Class A level of attention.
Right, and that's the defense attorney for Ian. One of his arguments for having a lesser sentence was that he needed a special treatment. He needed a special care, and you're not going to get them in the state prison system. Well, the prosecutor argued, "Oh, yes, he will get that kind of special attention." And basically, the judge ruled that basically sentenced him to life in prison without possibility of parole. So instead of 447 months or whatever that he could have gotten, he gave him the max, and plus 30 years for the death of the unborn child.
Well, couldn't you argue that, and it's kind of a harsh way of putting it, Frank, but I mean, you could argue that he never really experienced life. He's going to experience life in prison, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, you see this all the time. I've covered cases where there was a school shooting where the kid, once he came to trial, was 15 years old. He was sentenced to life without possibility of parole because that was the sentence then. Well, the Supreme Court keeps changing the goalpost, but so now he gets another shot at it because he was so young. So, but he's been in prison his whole life since he's 15. And that was like probably 40 years ago. Jeez. So what kind of person is he going to be if he gets out?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can't let him out at that point because what does he know, right?
Yeah.
What does he know? With Ian, what does he know?
All right. And here's the other thing. At his sentencing, he says the prosecutor pull these jail calls he made where he says, well, there were benefits to her being killed.
What?
Oh, really? What's the benefit? Oh, he says, well, first of all, my siblings would have been dead, if she was allowed to live, if she had gone back. And then the other thing was, she just, I don't know, it was just crazy. And the other thing he says, I'm not fully responsible. They pulled the plug on her. She could have lived. They could have put her in a coma for 9 months and the baby could have been born. And it's not all my fault and all that jazz. Really? So that didn't go over very well with the judge either. That's another reason he imposed the life sentence.
Yeah, I think he's
No
probably
remorse.
He's probably where he belongs.
Yeah. It's a sad, crazy, terrible case. I mean, it just is.
Yeah.
It's so senseless, so like so many of these things are.
Yeah. There's a lot of things I think in this book that people will read that when you start to read about Ian, you think, is he sympathetic or is he not? But I mean, you read and you see where John has infantilized him. If that's a word, that's the best word I can think of. He's just, he's tried to suppress this, what should be a man or a growing man, and turned him into a 10-year-old. And just, he won't let him get past the age of 10. But the idea is, if I do that, then he's under my thumb.
Right. Exactly.
And he's subservient to me.
It's all about control.
Yeah. And he's absolutely subservient to me. And the other son will be that way as well. I mean, and sadly, it's almost like training a dog, right? I think that's the idea.
That's exactly the phrase that the defense attorney used.
Yeah.
It's like training a dog. And Deja talks about, and so does Eric, all the physical abuse that they endured. I mean, and emotional abuse. Like, he would make the kids, if they thought they violated some minor policy, he would make the girls sleep on a garage floor without a pillow or blanket or whatever. And then the boys, he'd make them sleep in the yard, regardless of whatever the weather was.
Jeez.
So, and then he would wake them up in the middle of the night, make them do exercises, push-ups, and all kinds of stuff like that. And then, of course, the head-butting and slapping and punching and everything else too, according to them. And by the way, John denied abusing, and he had denied sexually assaulting Deja too. But that is.
I guess one of the last questions I have for you here, Frank, is, and this is only speculation, this isn't anything that you may or may not know, is, again, do you think now that Nico is in charge of the children, do you think Nico's getting the same treatment that Deja was getting? And in that meaning sexually abused or?
I don't know that she would, because she's the biological daughter.
Okay.
Deja was the adopted daughter. You hope not. You certainly hope not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, I've seen cases like that too, but pretty rare, but under control in other ways, probably, no doubt.
It just seems that, I hate to say it, but it just seems like John has set up his own little fantasy world where he's created his own incestuous family.
Well, he is all about control. Everything, every aspect has to be under his control.
Yeah.
And I'm not a psychologist, but it sounds like sociopathy. It sounds like psychopathy. It just sounds like to the level that he exerted all this control, it obviously caused a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's part of the interesting thing of this book. You can talk about family. Family is really interesting. Whatever happens in your family, that sticks with you for the rest of your life too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of people walking around walking wounded from what happens in your family. If you come from a good family without that kind of thing, you just count your blessings.
That's true. Although I think it's safe to say, and there are examples, and I think there's even one in this book with Deja, that even though the foundation may be rotted, it doesn't necessarily determine what your future is, right?
Exactly. In fact, it made her stronger and better, and a much better parent and a worker and a person. So, and her husband's a great guy too.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. So yes, it doesn't have to ruin your life. It just, there's certain things that stick with you, are going to always stick with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Murder in the Graveyard, A Family Cult Tragedy is the name of the book. It's put out by Wild Blue Press. Frank Stanfield is the author of this wonderful, chilling book. Again, Frank, you've done it again. There's you just keep putting out the hits, man. And they're chilling at that. They really are. They're you managed to find these amazing stories that are out there. And again, I congratulate you on another great book. And on to the next one, right?
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And again, we thank you so much for being on the program. Folks, it's time for us to lighten things up a little bit. It's time for us to bring in Travis Thorpe, and it's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again. Time you've all been looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And with that, I need a co-host. That's right. It's not a co-hostess this week because we've given Jessica the week off. But with that, we bring in one that you have all been clamoring for. That's right. It seems that we've brought back one that you've said, we don't care how much he swears. We've brought one back that you said, we don't care how unruly he gets. We don't care how offensive he can get. By gosh, he's darn funny. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've brought him back once again. Here he is, the king of the AI video, the sorcerer of Sora. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the combat rev himself, Travis Thorpe.
Oh man, my nipples just got so hard with that intro. Thanks, Tim.
I want my forehead smoochies before you say anything.
Well, you better bring that forehead over to your damn camera and get ready to prepare for impact. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
All right. There we go. All right. I'm sorry. So your nipples got hard from that little intro?
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like you gave a little bit of an O face when introducing me to that.
Oh, just a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. I had to put a little bit of effort into it.
I got to add that to my titles now. The Sorcerer of Sora. That was fucking brilliant.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I got to try. I noticed you got the old Dr. Pepper out there, huh?
I do. You know, they still don't pay me for it, and they don't need to because it is the nectar of the gods, and it is amazing. And yeah, it's all 23 flavors of my favorite things in life.
Well, between you and me and the Coca-Cola, somewhere in there, we got to get some sort of a trade deal going here.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I just start making some Sorcerer of Sora videos for Darkness Radio and Dr. Pepper.
I think so, yeah. Yeah. That's right. I mean, yeah. So wait a minute. So if 2 times 3 is 6, you got to throw in a darkness 666 somewhere. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't know. It's horrible. I digress. I don't know. I'm swinging at air and coming up with nothing. But yeah. So Jess is off this week, and we've got Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals here, and lots of stories to get to today, including lots and lots of Florida man and woman stuff. Of course, there's lots of not safe for work stuff, including our palate cleanser today, which is not only for winter, just for you, Rev. It's cold and dirty. It's downright cold and dirty, and it does have a Trailer Park 6 reference.
I'm elated. I can't wait.
And we go across the pond for one of the stories. There's 2 stories total for the palate cleanser today, So there you go.
We're going to be dirty and an international flight.
Yeah, and an international flight. That's right. So there may be a little over the blanket action for this whole deal. But first, let's start it off in Florida. You wanna?
Absolutely.
Actually, before we get to that, let's take care of a little bit of business first, and then we'll get to the story. We'll start it off a little serious, a little seary, if you will. We both have a good friend who has is in need. So we'll as being the good brothers we are, and with a good brother who's in need, just tell you that our good brother who's in need, Mike Moran, has a wife, Renee, who has been seriously ill for quite some time.
Yes.
And quite a few years, as a matter of fact. Some people choose not to believe it, but I'll just tell you, folks, COVID's a bitch. And sometimes COVID turns into long COVID, and sometimes long COVID can turn into some major maladies involving heart and lung maladies. And Renee's had some major stuff going on with the heart. I know you know more about it than I do with the heart.
Yeah, it's been years, and it's been kind of touch and go on the severity of it, but it has reached some pretty critical, severe moments now.
I know at one point Mike told me that I believe she's seen multiple specialists. I know out in California, out on the West Coast. Mike is in the Army. He's stationed out on the West Coast. And Renee has seen multiple specialists through the armed forces. It's not been good. Her prognosis at one time, let's just call it what it is. She's been on death's door more than a few times. And she's bounced back each time. She's quite the fighter. Her bills have gone astronomically high. And of course, as you know, anybody who's a service person out there knows you don't get rich doing what you do to serve our country. You just don't. With that in mind, there's been a GoFundMe set up to help with Renee's bills. Renee is a nurse. She herself has helped serve in the medical community. And all we're asking is that if you've got just a little something extra to throw out there, I know times are tough, but if you got a little something extra to throw out there to help towards Renee's medical bills, it's greatly appreciated. Again, keep in mind, Mike's doing what he can do in this time to help our country. Renee's done what she's done in her time to help the medical field. Two people who have reached out to help everybody in their times of need. And we're just hoping that you've got a little something to help them. So we got a link in the description of this program. So if you'd be so kind, you got a couple extra bucks, maybe just take that $5 to $7 you're going to spend on a cup of Joe that morning and throw it towards the GoFundMe. It's greatly appreciated. So that's all we can ask, right?
Absolutely. I really thank you for taking the time to put that out there too. He's been a very good friend of mine now for 8-9 years.
Yeah.
And it was after, doing an episode with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a wonderful person, and his wife is one of the sweetest people on this planet. So I really appreciate you doing that too.
And Mike's been a huge supporter of this program. I can't tell you in how many different ways Mike's been a huge supporter of the program. And so I have no qualms about doing whatever I can to help. So if you guys can help Renee in any way, Renee's a sweetheart. I greatly appreciate it. She's been through so much. So any of you who have had COVID can relate, especially if you've dealt with any long-term issues from COVID. You can relate to how horrible that is. So links in the description of the program. Go help if you can. All right. Let's get into Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals. We're going to start it off in Florida. An 81-year-old Florida woman is arrested after an undercover murder for hire sting.
Ooh.
81. I'll give you a little shot here of now see I think she tends to skew a little young for 81.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying she is at least the 22nd flavor of Dr. Pepper. I can take it from here.
It's the 22nd flavor of Dr. Pepper.
She's the prune juice in it,
Oh, All right. That's a little biting. That's a little satirical. I get it. The prune juice. An 81-year-old Florida woman with a criminal past allegedly arranged a murder-for-hire meeting with an undercover detective, landing her behind bars. You know, I thought we all got mellow as we got older. I thought that was the idea, right?
Well, I mean, somebody probably denied her AARP or something.
She didn't get the discount at the theater that week. Yeah. Detectives with the Citrus County Sheriff's Office. It sounds pleasant there, doesn't it? Special Investigations Unit and Major Crimes Unit, with assistance from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, took 81-year-old Eloise Leland into custody after receiving confidential information that she was actively seeking someone to carry out a murder. Oh, Eloise. Investigators say they arranged a meeting between Leland and an undercover posing as a hitman. During the meeting on January 16th, Leland discussed details of the plan and agreed to provide compensation in exchange for committing the crime. What's the compensation, you may say? Well, I believe there was hard candy involved. So,
maybe offered to take the dentures out.
Oh, hey. Well, you can't turn that down, can you? Following the meeting, deputies obtained a warrant and arrested Leland for one count of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. She was booked into the Citrus County Detention Facility and is being held without bond. I'm still thinking of the hard candy. You're thinking of the dentures. I know. I'm thinking those sweet Werthers. She's being held without bond on a charge of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. Authorities say the investigation determined no additional individuals were involved. The intended victim has not been identified. Did they not even get to that point in the solicitation where they like, oh, nope, we're arresting you? And she's like, wait a minute, I haven't said who I want to kill yet.
Yeah, that seems like it's jumping the gun a little bit, because I mean, like, part of it is you kind of have to have a victim.
Right. Yeah.
But I suppose, I mean, the intent is the intent. I don't know. That I do feel like she could have a good defense attorney that could punch some holes through this. Yeah.
Right. Although, if you're ready for this next part, maybe she isn't so innocent, and this might be a little bit of a slam dunker. Are you ready for this? The arrest comes 1 year after Leland was charged with multiple felony counts related to animal cruelty in January of 2025. Seems she isn't such a nice old lady after all.
Oh, now I understand. Okay. I'm piecing it together.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
She is the elder statesman of her neighborhood, okay, who is not a fan of her neighbor's dog and has done things before to the neighbor's dog in retaliation, and is so tired of it continuing to happen that she was hiring a hitman to take out the neighbor's dog.
See?
There it is.
Or the neighbor and the neighbor's dog.
Yeah, maybe.
Citrus County deputies said she failed to openly care for at least 5 dogs, including a wolf hybrid named Phoenix, which was found dead from malnutrition.
Whoa.
Oh, she's hardcore, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. Leland was charged with 1 count of aggravated animal cruelty and 5 counts of animal neglect. Deputies say 90 dogs were ultimately rescued from her deplorable home. She had 90 dogs at her home?
Okay, public apology time. Thomas, my brother, I know you have like 12 or 15 dogs at your house, and I keep telling you that you're like a horrible human being for having that many animals in your house. At least you don't have 90.
Yeah.
There,
yeah.
I made it official.
Okay.
Now you can put it on the calendar.
There you go. Yeah. Thomas, you're all right, man. You're a good guy. The simple statement from Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office was, thanks to the quick actions of our Criminal Investigations Division in partnership with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Actually, this is probably from Citrus County. We were able to prevent the senseless murder of another. Actually, I think it was pretty easy to find her from the howling of 90 damn dogs who were starving. That was probably the easy way to find her, right?
Do you think her previous victims she just fed to the dogs?
I'm thinking, yeah.
That's why, like, you got to have one hell of a property to have 90 dogs on it.
Yeah, well, or hear me out here. They were already starving. Maybe it was only an acre of land. They were all fenced into that 1 acre.
That's insane.
Doesn't take much when they're skin and bones. I hate to paint that picture, but I just did. Yikes. Let's move on before I tell any more cruel jokes.
90 fucking dogs. Wow.
Yeah. How does the lyrics to that one song go? I went to a party last Saturday night. I didn't get laid. I got in a fight. It ain't no big thing. You remember that song?
Was that Violent J or Shaggy 2 Dope? I can't remember.
Oh God, I forgot. You're only Insane Clown Posse, aren't you? Yeah. Well, for those of us who listen to other music, this man evidently listened to that song, then went to a party and stabbed 2 at a birthday party. Just happy birthday, and then got all stabby.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like the vibe.
Well, it beats bringing a birthday gift. You know, at least you don't have to remember to wrap anything. Right.
He was just going after the life of the party.
I guess. You gotta be just a really pissy human being to show up to a birthday party and go, I'm gonna stab you. Right? I think
he was just trying to cut the cake and he tripped.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. I think I've been dealing with some of these people and some of the comments and some of the forums this week.
Oh man.
A man was charged after restaurant stabbing injures 2 at a birthday party. A birthday celebration ended in 2 people stabbed on last Friday evening. 2 people were hospitalized with non-life-threatening stab wounds after a night at a Longhorn Steakhouse in Prattville. Yes, we're going back to Florida. According to Prattville Chief of Police Mark Thompson, 46-year-old Charles Pullum, you pull him, you brought him, was arrested and charged with assault in the first degree. He's being held at the Elmore County Jail. The police received a call at 10 p.m. about a fight at a birthday party inside the restaurant. Now, see, if you're going to stab somebody, a steakhouse is a great place because there's knives everywhere, right? I mean,
at least it's an equal footing, you know?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, you just reach for the table. Everyone's armed. And all of a sudden, it's West Side Story everywhere, right?
I see you've played knifey spoony before, eh? Yeah.
That's right. That's right. 2 people were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The back of the restaurant sustained damage. Evidently, they wanted the front pristine, so the fight was in the back. The investigation is ongoing.
It's like a John Wick movie. They just took it to the kitchen and caused chaos.
That's right. All I got to say is congratulations, Florida. You know how to throw a party, especially at a Longhorn Steakhouse.
You know, if I ever like really miss Iraq, I'm just going to move to Florida.
Right. All I got to know is, did you finish dinner? And did you get at least get through the bread? I mean, the bread at Longhorn, very good. The steak's
sometimes
okay.
I want to know how these fights started.
Right.
Because I mean, it could have been a really legitimate reason. You know, or it was some toddler that was just like making faces at somebody in another booth, and they were like, you know what?
You're going down.
Yeah.
I bet you it was just a slip of the cake. It probably was. You were probably right the first time. Yeah.
Just trying to cut the cake and trip.
And then someone got nicked, and then from there it was on. Well, this one was no mistake. I'll give you that. This man threw a baby at a TV in a fit of frustration, causing catastrophic injuries. He's now learned his fate in court.
I'm hoping under the jail.
Probably. We'll find out here. The baby's mother called the man a spiteful, disgusting person. That's an understatement. While giving an impact statement in court during sentencing. Let me show you what a chode with a baby beard looks like. Here he is right here. If you can see him there. There he is. And I use that term loosely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We go to Britain. Yes, we're going out of Florida for this one. Because although if I were to say a man threw a baby at a TV, you'd automatically assume Florida, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, that does seem more like a Midwestern thing, but...
You'd say Ohio for that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
More of like an Ohio or like Arkansas border, Missouri.
No. This one's across the pond. A British man found guilty of causing his baby daughter catastrophic injuries after throwing her at a television last year has been sentenced to 35 years in prison. See, sometimes I think they know how to do it right in Britain.
Yeah, sometimes, I just hope that their internal system is more like ours, where they kind of take care of things like that in-house.
I hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ruling from the Swansea Crown Court came on Monday, January 12th, according to the BBC. Rydian Lynn Reese Jameson, who's 28 years old, received the sentencing after originally pleading guilty last April. The BBC reported that the incident left the young girl with a fractured skull, bleeding on the brain, extensive cuts, and bruising, subsequently causing her to need lifelong medical care. Now I don't know. I think 35 years might be a little shy.
Yeah.
A little short. Could have gone maybe 15, 20 more years.
Yeah, I mean, reciprocal treatment.
Right. Here's hoping, like you said, maybe they take care of some things on the inside. Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll see what he did on the on the outside while he's on the inside, and they give him a little taste of what that's like.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
We can only hope that karma catches up in such manners for monsters like that.
Maybe they'll throw him against the TV a few times.
One will hope.
That's right.
Turn him into a little baby.
That's right. The BBC reported that the incident, left her with a fractured skull. The outlet also reported that the mother of Jameson's child spoke out in court, admonishing him for the violent attack on their daughter last January. "You're nothing but a spiteful, disgusting person," said the mother, who was not publicly identified in court. According to the BBC, "The impact on my child will last for the rest of my life. I'll never understand what you were thinking. It doesn't matter how long you'll get because it will never be enough." The outlet reported that Jameson had sent a string of apologetic texts to the girl's mother while acknowledging he harmed their daughter shortly after the incident took place. One of the texts read, "I'm sorry for what I've done. I'm scared. I think I've killed someone," another text reportedly read. "I'm going to be on the news," a third text said. Okay, so you're going to be on the news. Big deal. There's going to be a hell of a lot more happening to you. I'll guarantee you that. While making their case for a strict sentencing on Monday, prosecutors told the Swansea Crown Court that Jameson had snapped before violently attacking his infant daughter. Jameson chose not to appear in court for his sentencing, which led to Judge Paul Thomas KC calling him a coward during his sentencing. "You threw the baby with great force at the television," the judge said in court, addressing the absent Jameson. "It was a fit of uncontrolled temper. You did not even bother to check whether the baby was alive. It was an act of the most horrendous callousness and self-interest. The child has irreversible brain damage. You have no remorse, no regret for what you did." Jameson must serve 2/3 of his sentence before becoming eligible for parole, according to Wales Online. Dyfed Powys Police Detective Chief Inspector Gary Williams told reporters outside the courtroom, according to the outlet, this was an appalling act of violence towards a defenseless baby, his own daughter, who had been left in Jameson's care. We still don't know what made him act this way and what made him snap, to use his own words. But even if he had revealed the catalyst for his vile behavior, it would in no way make it excusable.
I think he needs a few more air holes to breathe out of.
Yeah. Yeah. Make it nice. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to more lighter fare. Put it there. Yeah. We're going to Hyannis out on the East Coast.
Hyannis?
Not hyenas. Hyannis, not hyenas. If you have a hyannis, generally you have a bigger shelf for a booty, and you could probably put a drink on it and watch it walk away.
I have the high ground, Anakin.
That's right. I have the high ground, Anakin. Mm-hmm. We're going to Hyannis, where they say that even the thieves are a little bit more trusting or trustworthy in Hyannis. This thief was very trustworthy out in Hyannis, maybe a little too more trustworthy. In fact, it got him in some trouble.
Oh, did he tattle on himself?
Maybe. The old Hyannis proverb is, if one can no longer trust their neighborhood car thief, then who can they trust?
What? Yeah, okay. All right. You got me here.
The headline is, failed Hyannis car thief stumbles on 1.1 kilos of cocaine, calls the police, then triggered a Nantucket man's drug trafficking arrest.
Wow. Okay. I mean, why do I got deja vu? I got deja vu going back to another episode a couple months back where the dude ran off with a car that had a kid in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a similar thing here, right? Dude boosts the car, realizes there's a crap ton of booger sugar in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And goes, no way am I going down with this shit.
Right. Yep. Not mine. Let's figure out how to unload them. Right. We're going to Hyannis, Massachusetts. In a bizarre twist of fate that underscores the unpredictable nature of crime, a would-be car thief's unsuccessful attempt to steal a vehicle in Hyannis inadvertently uncovered over 1 kilogram of cocaine hidden in the trunk, prompting him to alert authorities and ultimately lead to the arrest of the car's owner, who was a 62-year-old Nantucket man on serious drug charges. Which leads to a whole nother verse of there once was a man from Nantucket. What a trunk load of coke and said. Right?
Do you want me to say it? I'm the one that
No,
swears.
it's not safe for it's not safe for work yet. So we have to hold off. Right. The incident unfolded on Tuesday, January 6th. When a Barnstable police officer was dispatched to the Bay Street area in Hyannis following a call from a man who reported discovering a suspicious package containing a white powdery substance along Old Colony Road. I love that song, by the way. Gotta find me some coke at the Old Colony Road. And anyways, the caller suspected the substance was illegal narcotics and requested police assistance. That was nice of him. Upon arrival, officers met the man, who subsequently brought to Barnstable Police Headquarters for a formal interview, or was brought there. It was during this questioning that the man's story evolved dramatically. He confessed that his initial account was fabricated. The package hadn't been found roadside at all. Instead, he had stumbled upon it while attempting to burglarize a parked vehicle for valuables. Whoops.
Oopsie daisy.
I was just doing a little illegal something, officer. I'm sorry. According to Detective Liam Loisel's report filed in Barnstable District Court, the man detailed his plan to steal the car itself. He explained using a screwdriver to pry open the steering column, aiming to manipulate the ignition cylinder and start the engine. When his effort then failed, he shifted his focus to the trunk, hoping to salvage some items of value. Lifting what appeared to be a spare tire because, he's rummaging, he discovered a Target shopping bag concealing a duct tape package, because that's where all good things are, is in the Target shopping bag in the trunk.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a Walmart bag.
No, that's too flimsy. That doesn't hold a whole kilo of Coke. It's always those big, thick paper Target bags.
Yeah. It's only the cheap drugs that are going to be in a Walmart bag. The Target is where you're going to get those designer drugs.
That's right. That's right. Sheriff's crime scene unit was called to meticulously... Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped a whole paragraph there. Guided by the man's directions, detectives located the... Oh, you know what? I'm skipping 2 paragraphs here. What am I doing today here, Rev? What's up with me? Realizing the contents were likely drugs in that bag and fearing he could face severe charges if he were caught with them, the man panicked. Unsure of how to dispose of the find without drawing suspicion, he made the unexpected decision to contact the Barnstable Police Department directly, framing his call as a good faith report to get rid of them. Of course, because why would he be rooting through the trunk illegally, right?
Right.
Guided by the man's directions, detectives located the vehicle in the private commuter parking lot at the intersection of Bay Street and Old Colony Road. The gray 2024 Kia Forte bore Massachusetts registration and was registered to Edward Gillespie, who's a 62-year-old man from Nantucket. Signs of the attempted theft were evident. The driver's door handle lay detached on the ground, and the ignition had been forcibly pried open. So, of course, it wasn't on the up and up. Yeah. Sheriff's crime scene unit was called in to meticulously document and process the vehicle, preserving evidence of the break-in. Meanwhile, Detective Loisel took custody of the suspicious package. Do you think all of it was left intact, or do you think maybe some was missing by the time they got it back?
I'm going to assume it was all intact.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just wondering. It might have been a snowy day, because it is the middle of January there in Massachusetts. You never know. I'm just saying they could have slipped and fell and some of it could have spilled.
Maybe that's what happened at the steakhouse.
You never know, right? I mean, stranger things have happened.
A little powdered sugar on the...
That's right. Well, and donuts might have been served that morning, so powdered sugar could have been everywhere.
You never know.
Right? Using a TrueNarc Raman spectrometer for preliminary testing, they confirmed that so there was a little bit missing. They confirmed that the substance was cocaine, weighing in at 1.104 grams, equivalent to 1.1 kilograms. The drugs were secured at police headquarters with plans for further forensic analysis at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab, where they will take good care of it. We assure you. By the way, the investigation at that point escalated quickly, where on January 7th, Detective Loisel secured 2 search warrants from Barnstable District Court, authorizing the installation of a pole camera and GPS tracking device on Gillespie's Kia Forte to monitor its movements and any potential activity. We'll skip ahead in the story because it's quite detailed. They really love their details there in Hyannis. You want to know why, Rev?
Because they're really anal about it?
That and they have nothing to do. This is a huge story in Hyannis.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How big is Hyannis?
Big enough to hear the wind whistle when it goes by. But it's this and making Pepperidge Farm bread. That's all they have going on in Hyannis.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Combined with...
I'm going back in my brain to a moment in like 2008, back when I wore the badge. Right?
Yep.
We had a traffic stop on a vehicle with a person who didn't speak any English. Mm-hmm. Didn't have any documents, no license plate, anything. And when they started stripping the vehicle apart, they found $2.8 million in cash hidden underneath all these panels on the outside of this pickup truck. Jeez. We had to call in day shift to go patrol the streets for us because we had to put every officer on night shift in level 4 body armor with rifles to protect the money from each other, to make sure not a single dollar went missing. And, there was a lot of scrutiny to make sure that not a single dollar bill went poof, right?
Right.
And what was hilarious is the city manager and the city manager, which was our mayor, and the chief of police then went to go run all that money to the bank in the morning and secure it. And about a year after I left the PD, apparently there was indictments that came down for both the city manager and the chief for a couple $1 million worth of embezzlement.
Oops.
So I can't scoff too much at the notion of whether some sugar went missing or anything, but I can tell you most line officers are too scared to ever cross that line. It's usually going to be your upper echelon.
I joke about it, but I know that in most towns it's not going to happen. But it's Hyannis, I don't know. I can't speak for Hyannis, but I've never stayed there. But so they put the surveillance on Mr. Gillespie. They decide to go pick him up. They go get him. Based on building on the evidence, Detective Lois L. obtained an additional search warrant on Gillespie's residence. Barnstable detectives traveled to the island, coordinating with Nantucket and the DEA. They got them involved at this point. The raid provides fruitful. They get an additional 38 grams of coke, 68 grams of methamphetamine, specifically Adderall, roughly $10,000 in cash, which tells me he didn't really have a huge operation there, right?
Right.
Yeah. Various packaging materials, digital scale, the usual. Combined with it, I think they got most of it the first time around. I think
it sounds like he was a very small scale operation, and he was probably just like mid operation. Like he probably had half of his product out there, and the rest of it he was still trying to bag up.
Yeah. So then they go get Gillespie as well. And it turns out that on Friday, Gillespie appeared for arraignment in Barnstable District Court, facing charges of trafficking cocaine over 200 grams. He was ordered without bail pending a dangerousness hearing to assess his risk to the community. It's Hyannis. I mean, but yeah, we get it. Yeah. I mean,
I get this feeling like they're like your arch rivals from like a high school football team.
No. I mean, I find it funny that, but I find it funny, but not funny. I mean, compare Hyannis to where we live, and it's not really that much, right? But I just find it cute. It's charming.
It's charming.
It's like...
like, we haven't seen this much crime since Whitey Bulger.
He had a key on him. That's cute. I mean? And they're like, this is the biggest crime wave ever.
You're like, meanwhile, that's Tuesday.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it was another day here in Minneapolis. Yeah. It's cute. It was cute. Our next story, a man robbed a West Jordan bank, then bought food and left stolen money as a tip.
Jesse James.
That's right. Because everything old is new again. This is West Jordan where? What state? That's a good question, Tim. He left a big tip, and it's not what you're thinking, but now he's facing potential federal charges. A man was arrested Monday after police say he robbed a West Jordan bank, then walked to a restaurant down the street, purchased a meal, and then left the remaining money he had stolen from the bank as a tip. How would you like to be the server that got that tip and then had to give it back?
Yeah, it's like one of those viral videos where they fill a coffee mug full of like $500, like just the right cup and you can get the big tip. Leave a duffel bag of like $100,000. Here you go.
Right. About 1 p.m. on Monday, Michael Grant Robinson, who's all of 35 years old, walked into the Wells Fargo Bank on Campus View Drive and handed the teller a handwritten note that read, "I got a weapon. I need $1,000. According to a police booking affidavit, Robinson then opened his jacket and showed the teller a knife handle, but the teller believed it was a gun. Robinson was given $140 and then left the bank.
What?
Yeah, $140.
Bro.
Yeah, that wasn't even worth the price of even going in at that point.
What? And I got a weapon. Give me $1,000, bro. You're risking your life at this point. You might as well ask for the moon,
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, $1,000 is nothing.
Crap.
Right. He then walked into a nearby Mexican restaurant, ordered a meal that totaled $19.53. This crime has already gone backwards. After receiving and consuming the meal, Robinson left the remainder of the money he obtained from the bank as a tip for the waiter that served him. So there you go. Here's $120. Robinson, who police say is identifiable by his face, neck, and head tattoos, was arrested a short time later. He was booked into the Salt Lake County Jail. Okay, so this is Utah.
Yep.
For investigation of criminal solicitation of aggravated robbery. The FBI will be placing a retainer on him, police noted. So he's going up for a long time for $140 and a Mexican meal. Good job,
Tim,
kid.
This is what Tylenol did to us.
Don't say that. I take Tylenol like 3 times a day.
$140, Tim. Sorry, no.
Isn't that fun?
This guy deserves all the smoke he's about to get. Like, bro, you're a menace. You're a menace. You're gonna hold up a bank and walk out with $140.
I hope at least it was carne asada, right? For the $19.53.
Bro should have gone to a Taco Bell and robbed him for better food and money. And then it would have been a federal crime. Oh man, could you imagine all the inmates and how much they're gonna be busting this guy's balls for the entire time he's in there? Hey, at least you ain't Fred. This motherfucker's doing 20 years for fucking ramen at Wells Fargo for $140. Oh my god.
He must suck at let's make a deal. I mean, I want 1,000. You get 140. Okay.
Can I phone a friend? Yeah, it's the FBI here.
Yeah, here. Talk to the agent. I only want 5 years in jail. You get 40. Okay.
Okay. Oh, Tim, you broke me with this one.
Are you done at this point?
You broke me. Oh my God. I can't wait until this man gets processed through, because I got some friends in the bureaus of prisons, and I'm just saying, I want to follow this guy's career.
You've got laundry duty today. Okay.
Oh man, I had to mute my mic. I was coughing up a storm laughing. Oh, that was great.
And toilets. And you get to cook. Okay.
Okay.
This guy is going to be the most abused man in the prison system.
Oh,
He can't work a deal to save his life.
I love it.
All right. If you thought that last story was fun, are you ready for this one?
Ooh.
It's almost like I was reading your setups before you came on the show. We're going to the land of alcohol, my friend.
Ireland?
Well, that's across the pond, but we're talking more domestically and a little bit over the border. We're going to Wisconsin.
Oh, okay, yeah, Kugels and stuff.
Yeah, well, among others. If I were to tell you, what do you, I mean, having come from the land of law enforcement, what would you consider excessive if you pulled someone over for a DWI? What's the most excessive you've ever seen?
Oh man, definitely within the fours. Now, I can't recall any numbers that scream at me as acid etched in my brain, but definitely within the fours. It's pretty dangerous. I don't even know what would be lethal for a BRAC. But I would assume it'd be anywhere from like that 6 to 8 range would probably be lethal amount.
Yeah. I'm glad you're sitting down. Wisconsin man tests 21 times the legal limit, arrested for second OWI.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Someone reached FAFO territory. A Wisconsin man is now in custody following his second OWI offense on Monday night after he took a breath test and was found to be 21 times the legal limit. Congratulations to the Wapaka County Sheriff's Office who got to test this idiot.
Jeez.
Yeah. Deputy.
Now you're going to do math while you're talking. Give me a second.
Sure.
You keep going, but.
Deputies responded at 6:09 p.m. to the area after reports were made of a driver swerving in the roadway on U.S. Highway 10, significantly varying speeds and almost hitting a guardrail. Officials found the vehicle and conducted a traffic stop on Highway 10 near County Road A with deputies stating that they could smell a strong odor of alcohol and other signs of intoxication coming from the 41-year-old driver. A preliminary breath test found the driver to have an alcohol concentration of, are you ready for this, Rev?
Go ahead.
0.427.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, that's right within that range where it was the fours, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's dangerous territory.
Yeah. Following a previous arrest for OWI, the deputies say the driver was to have a 0.02 restriction, making him 21 times the legal limit. So he had been caught before. He had that 0.02 restriction. That's 21 times.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I was trying to do the math and calculate it out real quick too, and I was like, that doesn't even come close to the 4 at the 0.08, and so that would make more sense.
Well, at 0.08, at 21 times, he'd be dead. I mean, he'd be on a gurney. But with the 0.02 restriction, 21 times is still too much, way too much. Due to his high level of intoxication, the 41-year-old driver was taken to the hospital for medical care. He was arrested on the following potential charges: operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, a second offense, failure to install an ignition interlock device, which he was supposed to do the first time, operating after revocation. No other details are available at this time. 0.427.
Yep. That's pretty wasted. Yeah, I mean, but quite honestly, like a lot of the times when they're that intoxicated and they're like running from you, you're getting into a pursuit through the city, they're running over traffic devices and stuff. That's usually what you're going to see. You're going to see a 3 or a 4, right?
Wow.
Like it gets pretty bad. The funniest one I ever had was a white pickup truck right outside of a Denny's, and he was trying to run from about 14 of us, and he got stuck in this ditch, and none of the tires were touching ground. The front bumper and back bumper were on grass, and all 4 tires are spinning, and he's stomping on the gas trying to get away, and we're all knocking on his window like, you gonna get out, bud? And he was a 4.
Oh my God. That's hysterical. That's good. That's good stuff. Did he get out?
Eventually. I mean, he was this, as the report reflected, I believe it was, and I gently assisted him to the ground with the technique of an arm bar and guided his torso to the ground, where I gently placed him in hand restraints and then secured him into the vehicle. Now, that may have looked a little bit different, but at least that's what the report said.
Well, at least you didn't put the word lovingly in there.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been awkward. Our next story, yes, involves a Walmart, and yes, involves the words TikTok. So this will be fun. Let me show you a picture of the young man here who is going to throw those two entities into one story.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So this will be fun. I always love a good challenge. So does this kid. Felony charge for a TikTok challenge. Teen plans to stream 24-hour stunt inside a Walmart. How far do you think he got into it?
7 hours.
Ooh, let's see. Another one of those TikTok challenges has resulted in an arrest of an 18-year-old on a felony charge. So young to be getting a felony charge. He's just starting off life, really. Isaac Hurley was picked up by Florida police, and he was found inside a closed Walmart on Tuesday evening as he was live streaming his trespassing on TikTok. Oh, kid. Officers were dispatched to the retailer after a 911 caller said that a male suspect was broadcasting from inside the Walmart for a 24-hour challenge. It's coming from inside the Walmart. The man, the caller added, was hiding in the dog bed section of the Inglewood store. He was hiding in the dog beds.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a smart place to be crashing out for a little bit. At least it's comfy.
Yeah, it is comfy, isn't it? I mean, either that or the futons. I mean, you know, futons would probably be the most comfy, right?
Yeah.
Police reported that finding Hurley hiding between dog beds and actively recording on his phone. So what was it like? Lay down for a minute. Pardon me, I'm getting hiccups for some reason. So laying down, dog bed, run around the store, lay down on dog bed, run around the store. What was he doing?
I'm sure what it was probably sneaking around, being like a little ninja, you know, doing like here, I'll even for the people that end up watching the video later, holding up his phone like this, going like, hey, chat, W in the chat. Hey, we're going to be heading over towards the deli. Let's see if we can sneak a meal. Hey, oh, I hear the guy cleaning the fucking floors over here with the Zamboni. Hey, let's get over by the, fishing gear. Hey, what do you guys want to see? Hey, should we go over and try the women's lingerie on? Thanks for the heart me. Hey, all right, thanks for the rose.
Granny panties for life, dude. Yep. After being handcuffed and read his rights, Hurley advised that he believed he could earn money from TikTok views and decided to conduct a 24-hour challenge inside Walmart. A subsequent review of Hurley's TikTok located a video of him stating he intended to complete a 24-hour challenge inside Walmart and requesting likes and shares, just like Rev said. Hurley entered Walmart about 45 minutes before its 11 p.m. closing time. He planned his 24-hour stay inside was cut short while some workers were still inside finishing their nightly duties. Wow, it's like you're along with the kid for the ride.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I might be a genius.
In addition to a felony burglary count, Hurley was also charged with theft for allegedly taking a $16 iPhone charger from the Walmart. He, of course, because he can't make it all night on one charge. On that iPhone 7 or whatever he's got hand-me-down from his brother. He was freed from the county jail on Wednesday after posting $1,500 bond, and a judge had ordered him to have no contact with Walmart. Yeah, that's going to last. Hurley, who also pleaded not guilty to the charges, told police that he was kicked out of his family's home in Knoxville, Tennessee. There's a shock. And had only been in the Sunshine State for a week, though it seems he's already become a Florida man. Look at that. Poor kid.
Did I miss the detail? Did it say how long he lasted?
Did it say what?
It said when he entered. It said he entered, shortly before closing.
Right, 45 minutes before closing, and he was picked up. It didn't say what time he got picked up, but it couldn't have been that much.
Yeah,
after close.
I feel like I could win a bet on this. I feel like it's 7 hours. I wonder if we can find additional details. I'm gonna FOIA request that shit. We're gonna.
You know what? I think I can grab the source document. It's right here. Hold on. They have the source document right here. Let's see. He was picked up. Arrest date time 23:45.
So almost midnight.
Yeah. So he lasted 45 minutes after close.
That's it?
Yeah.
What a loser. You deserve it. You deserve it. You're not even worth the TikTok live, bro. Get off of the live, bro.
Get out of the live, bro.
Go get a real job, bro.
How could you even, first of all, so he didn't know how much money he could make. So he didn't even line that up ahead of time. He just went in there expecting to get follows, and he couldn't even make it 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got no chops for this business, bro.
He wasn't like even smart enough to pile up a couple of dog beds and hide in there for at least a couple of hours.
Yeah. Or maybe, I don't know, grab like an employee vest and walk around with it.
Right. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah. Tylenol, bro. I'm just saying.
Another one on the Tylenol. Oh, it's an epidemic. All right. Our next story. And I think this is our last one before we go not safe for work. So hold on to yourself, kids. 2 coach passengers refused to leave first class on American Airlines in Miami, and police had to remove them in cuffs. That's right. It's not safe for work. I'm sorry. It's not Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals without an airplane story. 2 women were pulled off an American Airlines flight in Miami this past weekend, reportedly for sitting themselves down in first class where they didn't belong. The self-upgraders weren't going to last long there. There's a flight manifest, by the way, and it's rare that a first-class seat is going to go out empty. Yeah, remember that, kids. If you try to self-upgrade, act confused and apologetic when called out, and do the walk of shame back to your seats. That's just the thing to do. Don't try to fight it. If you insist on sitting where you don't belong and make a big entitled deal of it when you're called out, you'll receive a VIP escort to your final destination, which is probably going to be a holding cell by airport police. That appears to what had happened as multiple uniformed police officers take these 2 women out of the gate area. One is in a red outfit and is escorted out relatively calmly. The other, in a gray top and black pants, is on the floor with officers around her at one point, then is brought up and escorted out under control of the officers. I tell you what, there is a video, but it's not really worth watching.
She was also seen at Canterbury Park, right?
Yeah, I think so, yes. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Apparently, the women sat in first class, refused to move, and escalated the disturbance. The crew called for airport law enforcement, but it's totally not clear which flight this was. They're saying the person who's reporting this story it's actually American Airlines 1816 from Miami to Phoenix on Friday evening. And then they guess at a few departures. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office Airport Operations Bureau handled this one well, they said, as things didn't escalate further and delays were not significant regardless of which flight was involved, especially since this was a removal that involved cuffs rather than simply assisting the airline in enforcing the decision not to carry the passengers. So there you go. All right. It's time now for Not Safe for Work. With this, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your boss, put them in an office somewhere, put them in a closet, put them in cuffs, and have the airport police take them away. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Speaking of handcuffs, a handcuffed woman shoots a Marion County deputy with a gun hidden in her pants. And yes, she was happy to see her. Yeah. You know, that whole, is that a gun in your pants or are you happy to see me thing. Rihanna Harden is charged with attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer. We go to Marion County, Florida. Yes, we're still in Florida. Florida's big in the news this week for one reason or another. We talked to Frank Stanfield in the first part of this program about why all the Florida stories, as he's in Florida. Newly released surveillance footage reveals the moment a Marion County Sheriff's deputy was shot inside his cruiser. The June incident began when a deputy stopped 22-year-old Rihanna Harden on South Highway 441. Harden was initially arrested for possession of methamphetamine, marijuana, drug paraphernalia, providing false ID, and driving with a suspended license. While being transported to the Marion County Jail, Harden, who was handcuffed in the back seat of the patrol vehicle, managed to slip one hand out of her cuffs and open the plexiglass partition between her and the deputy. Yikes. Footage shows Harden removing her visor and covering the rear seat camera before producing a handgun concealed in her clothing and then firing multiple shots through the partition. Did the cop not frisk her?
Apparently. Yeah. Now, I will tell you, some people are really good at concealing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Some officers are intimidated by the claims of SA and or inappropriate conduct, and they should not be scared of that because it's part of your damn job because of this exact reason.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Anytime the cuffs go on and you're arresting them, you must search them before they get in that vehicle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I have only had one person ever slip cuffs, and that woman slipped 3 sets of cuffs, a body burrito, which was a Velcro wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 leather restraints at the hospital.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like, some people are also just Houdini, you know?
Damn.
So, yeah, you always search. Always search.
The deputy then returned fire, and the vehicle eventually crashed into a utility pole. Both Harden and the deputy sustained non-life-threatening injuries and were taken to area hospitals, according to the sheriff's office. A revolver with 6 spent shell casings was recovered at the scene near where Harden was removed from the vehicle. Harden ended up receiving an additional charge of attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer. Her next court date is January 29th. Damn. I mean, think about that. That close. That close. If you're watching on video, you see how close, but that close to being killed in the squad car.
Yeah. That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Incredibly crazy.
I mean, it had to have been like a John Wick, Neo, Morpheus type fight inside of that cab. You know, six rounds she expended.
Yeah.
And we're talking within less than a foot range.
Yeah.
And you're still breathing.
Yeah.
Like, and you exchanged fire while going down the, like, that's
minor miracle, brother. That's what that is. That's, yeah. That you didn't get taken out of this world. Yep. Telling you. There's no reason why he's not dead.
Yeah. Well, he was, you know, his saints were better than hers at the Church of Methany, you know?
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure she was pretty messed up. Yeah. All right. Our next story. Everybody loves a good Waffle House story. And we got one today. Although this is kind of creepy. It's kind of a creepy Waffle House story. Okay. A Waffle House manager constantly groped the grill cook, but higher-ups did nothing. Hence, there's a lawsuit. That's right. Things are skeevy at the Waffle House. And we've got the exclusive story. That's right. We're taking you behind the scenes of the Waffle House. The story you didn't know you didn't want. A former Waffle House grill cook is suing the beloved chain after She alleges her supervisor refused to stop groping her rear end and higher-ups ignored her blizzard of complaints about it, forcing the South Carolina woman off the job in less than 7 months. In a federal lawsuit filed last month, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
And it was served on the chain January 9th. Marilyn Smith says her unit manager would constantly grab her buttocks while at work, and that Smith would repeatedly request her to stop. Although Smith request her to stop. I had to get that right. Made sure I had that right. I would think request him to stop, but it was her to stop.
That's where our brain tends to go. But yes, it could end up being anyone.
Yeah, right. Although Smith reported the ceaseless personal space invasion to Space Invasion. I'm going to Space Invaders. I go in video games here. I got to get back into it.
I'm just thinking about applying for a job at Waffle House now.
Right. Right. Although Smith reported the ceaseless personal space invasion to her district manager, nothing was done, the suit claims. Instead, it contends Smith was blamed for the situation and ultimately had no choice but to resign. As a result, the Colleton County resident suffered great emotional and mental distress, terror, fright, revulsion, disgust, humiliation, embarrassment, shock, and indignities, lost wages, loss of front pay, back pay, and other work benefits, according to the December 23rd filing. Ms. Smith's case, unfortunately, is indicative of the type of harassment and conduct imposed on females in the workplace, Smith's attorney, Matthew King, of the... I can't say this out loud.
Do it. Do it.
Not without laughing.
Do it.
Okay, Travis, between you and me, what do you call a white person who acts black?
Oh, the wigger?
Yes, law firm. Thank you. In
welcome.
North Charleston told the Independent, why would you name your law firm that?
It's his name.
No, his name is Matthew King. Why is the law firm named the Wigger Law Firm? Know what I'm saying?
Because they can wiggle you out of anything.
It's not the Wiggler Law Firm.
Are you stuck in a sticky situation? Well, then call 188 Wiggler.
But it's not the Wiggler Law Firm. It's Wigger.
And all the ladies say he's pretty fly for a white guy.
I kid you not, folks. I'm reading this the way it's read. I'm reading it the way it's written. I'm pretty disturbed right now. I'm gonna sue Yahoo News for reading this. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Federal charges. Let's do it.
Federal charges. I'm sending this all the way to the top. I'm suing Matthew King at the law firm for infringing on my human rights. It's also indicative of the protect the company mindset of managers and human resources employees that many hourly workers are not aware of. However, Ms. Smith is standing up for herself and her rights through this case in hopes that others will not be forced to endure what she did. First of all, she had to get over saying, hey, being represented by a Wigger.
Yeah. You know? I'm still just thinking about applying at Waffle House. I want my butt touched.
You just want lots of butt touching.
I hand out forehead smoochies for butt touches.
Yeah, but you know what happens if you sooner or later they catch on to the fact that you like it and then they start smacking you with a spatula.
Yeah. Well, then it just elevates. Federal charges.
Yeah, that's right. Federal charges. A regional icon throughout the South and Midwest Waffle House boasts more than 2,000 locations across 25 states. You think we can get one here in Minnesota? No.
It'll come with come and goes, I'm sure. You know?
Oh, and In-N-Outs.
In Cracker Barrel.
Well, we have one here, but you got to go. You got to go all the way to southern Minnesota to get there. Each location is open 24 hours a day, of course, at the Waffle House, 365 days a year. Why? Because they're heathens. That's why.
Because they believe in freedom in America and diabetes.
And diabetes. Diabetes. And the restaurants are famous for staying operational through all manner of severe weather and natural disaster. Why? Because they ain't God-fearing. That's why.
Yeah, you know what? If a tornado's coming, you can have some waffles.
That's right. You just suck it up and eat your waffles. You know what? They have the best grits in the world, though. I'll guarantee you that. They do.
Better than Cracker Barrel?
No, I like Cracker Barrel's grits better.
Yeah, me too. Because I was going to challenge you on that.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. By the way, in 2009, the chain settled a lawsuit brought by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission after a cook in charge of the night shift at a Nashville, Tennessee Waffle House was accused of harassing multiple servers with, among other things, unwelcome sexual touching and frequent requests for sexual conduct. So I think you found your new chain.
Yeah.
The commission said the servers complained repeatedly to management, but that the company failed to take prompt and appropriate corrective action to end the harassment. And by the way, we're not making light. Oh, okay, Rev is, but we're not making light of sexual harassment.
Yeah, you're not. I just want to be a sexual icon. I just want to be worshipped and, told how pretty I am.
See, every time I worry about humor like that, people are like, bring him back. And I'm like, well, fuck. All right.
I just want to be doted after, Tim. I just want to feel important.
I guess I don't have to worry so much, huh? Our next story, just as disturbing, is thinking of you wanting to be touched over a hot griddle. A breast milk motive for theft caper? A used Stanley cup is stolen from a coworker. First of all, I'm going to show you a picture here. If this young lady came up and stole your Stanley cup, and I'm not talking about the one they play hockey for, but if she stole your Stanley cup and said, I'd like this for a little titty caca, milky, would you let her have it?
Yeah, but it's because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, well,
it's not because she has a halo around her head, right? It's because I'm a nice man. If a homeless man needed to take a pee-pee in it, I'd give him my Stanley too.
It's an expensive cup. I don't know if I'd let him take a pee in it.
Well, I'm cultured. I have 3 of them.
Wow, you have 3 of them. Look at you, Daddy Warbucks. Before stealing a used Stanley cup from a female coworker, an accused thief remarked that the insulated tumbler would be great to hold my breast milk.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see there's no flawed logic in that. She's right. It would be great to store it. Yeah.
29-year-old Ariana Moss was arrested by cops on a misdemeanor charge in connection with the December 29th theft at a recreational complex in Largo, Florida. Of course, we're going back to Florida. We have never left. According to an arrest report, Moss was observed on video surveillance looking at the cup numerous times before taking possession of the victim's 40-ounce light blue Stanley cup and concealing it in her lunchbox before exiting the Highland Recreation Center. Moss, cops say, saw the 22-year-old victim frequently drinking that day from the $60 Stanley Cup during multiple interactions with the victim. At one point, a witness, an employee, told police Moss had pointed to the cup sitting on an office cabinet and remarked, "This cup would be great to hold my breast milk." Aye, that it is, lass. Aye, that it is. Moss, who worked as a supervisor, quit her job 3 days after the incident and has not been heard from since. Because ultimately, she found what she was looking for in life.
A job at Waffle House.
And a cup, the perfect cup in which to hold her breast milk.
Right, the Holy Grail.
I found the Grail. I found it. And it holds my breast milk perfectly. Now I'm going to get my ass groped at Waffle House.
I always thought it was golden, but it's a light blue hue.
It's a light blue hue. Moss was arrested on Sunday and booked into the county jail, from which she was released last night after her husband posted a $150 bond and said, "What the fuck are you doing with your life?"
You could have texted me, Gina. You could have texted.
I would have bought you one. It wouldn't have cost $150, and I don't know, jail time.
All right. Well, you know what it really was just a way for her to get a break from the baby and make him watch the kid.
Right. That's exactly what it was.
Postpartum's a bitch.
It really is. Oh, boy. This one's... We're going to ride the rails on this one. Maybe we'll read it quickly. You ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
Double whammy for a jailed nurse who's 35 years old who sexually abused her 15-year-old stepson.
Oof.
Yeah. A nurse jailed for sexually assaulting her 15-year-old stepson has lost her medical license weeks after her husband filed for divorce. Whew. It's a little rough around the house. The nurse who was jailed for sexually assaulting her then 15-year-old stepson has had her medical license revoked just weeks after her husband filed for divorce. Yes, we're still staying in Florida.
God. There's just no escaping there, is there?
No.
It's the jungle.
It's like being trapped in Disney. Alexis Von Yates from Ocala, Florida, is currently serving a 2-year sentence after her husband David walked in on her having sex with her teen stepson on the couch in their family home in 2024.
She got done riding the bull and had to try the young calf.
What?
It's a quote from Step Brothers, people. Calm down.
Been waiting to use that one, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah.
That and the, what are you doing? Why are you sweating so much? I was watching Cops.
The 35-year-old Von Yates pleaded no contest to lewd and lascivious battery and was locked up September of 2025 after her sentence was reduced from the original charge of sexual battery. After a meeting with the Board of Nursing and Yates's lawyer last month, the Florida Department of Health revoked the nursing license of the disgraced mother, according to Ocala News. I have a disturbing photo to show you, too. Florida health officials suspended her nurse's license in April of last year. However, the final order, reviewed by the local outlet, showed that Von Yates met with the Board of Nursing in October, during which her license was revoked after she didn't contest any of the allegations against her. So she's like, yep, I did it. Yes, sir. Meanwhile, Von Yates' estranged husband, David Yates, filed for divorce in December, according to Marion County court records. On July 26th of 2024, Von Yates chose to hang out, in her words, with her stepson, who was visiting her father for the summer, or his father for the summer, rather. If he would have visited her father, everything would have been fine. After she had put her 2 younger children to bed, maybe they should have stayed up. The pair allegedly played video games together, watched movies, and used a THC vape, the primary compound in cannabis. Don't blame the cannabis. It's not the cannabis's fault. At around 1 a.m., the stepmother put on a horror movie but told the teenager it was boring and then seduced the minor. The boy testified that she told him she was sexually frustrated because she had not had sex in 2 weeks and she was on her period. I don't need to go into other details. There's a bunch of details here. There's also a very disturbing photo of the two of them right here. There you go.
You know, I always find it fascinating in the, I don't know, would you call it the psychopathy?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Of like, when it's always some like hot teacher or hot mom or hot whatever, right? That like society is like, oh, it's okay, they get a pass, right? When it's like a female offender, right?
I don't find her that
the
hot.
same actions.
Here's her booking photo. She looks haggard.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
And she looks like a number 2 pencil that got rubbed the wrong way.
Right.
Yeah. But like, it's always like some weird societal crap, you know? Like a monster's a monster, right?
Right.
Like she can get buried under the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a spiteful woman, man. Like, oh yeah, we're getting divorced, so now I'm gonna go bang your son. What?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, there's something not right there. All right, with that we need a palate cleanser. So we're at the end of the program here. So let's get with that palate cleanser, shall we? Are you ready?
Yeah, let's shake it off. Some Taylor Swift.
Well, so to speak. It's funny you say the word shake it off. We're going to get cold and dirty here all at the same time.
Oh, man. All right.
First, the cold part. It's funny. Like I said, it's funny you say shake it off. Wait, where did my translate part go? I can't read this in its native language. Wait a minute here. Let me hit here we go. Translate. I say I can't read it in its native language because it's in Swedish.
Ooh.
That's right. Finally, we're going to get out of Florida. We're going to go to Sweden.
Derpader.
Her the snow penis.
IKEA.
That's right. You heard me right. I said snow penis. The snow penis is back in Boris, and it's been demolished directly by the Swedish Transport Administration.
Wait, the snow penis, like this is a real thing.
This is a real thing. This is it right here. It's the snow penis.
Shut up.
I kid you not, brother. There it is.
It's a Swedish obelisk. They're like, you know what? That we need is a giant to cut the penis.
The traditional snow penis in Dalsjöfors was demolished on Wednesday on behalf of the Swedish Transport Administration. A sentence I never thought I would read in my life.
This is great.
The assessment is that the penis may pose a traffic hazard. It is very big and you lose focus, said Katrina Wolfram, press communicator at the Swedish Transport Administration.
A sentence no man ever thought he would hear.
That's right. And the fact that it came from Katarina Wolfram is even better. She said it is very big and you lose focus. Well, thank you, Katarina. I'm glad you noticed. The snow penis has become a recurring tradition, and during the night of Wednesday, it appeared again at a roundabout on Highway 40 in Dalsjöfors. It has been noticed and praised on social media. Thank you, Swedes everywhere, for noticing. But it didn't take many hours before the Swedish Transport Administration had it demolished. All it took was a little bit of heat. I suspect that many people pay a little extra attention, but it's not a trivial matter. In a roundabout, you have to keep an eye on the traffic. Oh, it's sat in the middle of a roundabout. And it would be stupid if it caused an accident. The snow penis also violates the ban on placing artwork along roads and roundabouts. Katarina Wolfram of the Swedish Transport Administration is quoted as saying, "You have to have permission to place a snow penis in the middle of a roundabout."
What kind of dickhead just puts a giant snow dick in the middle of a roundabout?
Don't forget the giant snowballs that are underneath it.
Right.
All right.
The real reason that we're acquiring Greenland. To make a bigger snow dick.
That's right, because we can't do that here in the U.S. According to the Swedish Transport Administration, the snow penis has looked almost identical every time it appears year after year. It's like Rudolph.
Somebody's got a mold.
This may indicate that there is some planning behind the construction. There is a snow penis board, evidently, that gets together and plans this out yearly. It's very well made, if you say so, and everyone giggles with delight when it's back, says Katarina Wolfram. Maybe it was made somewhere else in a mold, and then they shipped it there. Look at you, Mr. Psychic.
Yep. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, little talented.
There was one snow penis, and I believe it's pronounced Bolyabide, that was not as well made. For comparison, another notable snow penis, and I think it's Bolyabide, is mentioned, which is most likely the result of improvisation. So it's an improvised snow penis.
They got copycat penises.
That's right.
Erecting all over.
It's not nearly as well made, so you can see the difference when someone just makes a snowball and rolls it and puts it there, says Katarina Wolfram, who wasn't impressed with the just kind of slapped together snow penis.
Yeah. The real snow penis has at least 3 distinct veins on the left side.
She likes a well-formed, well-groomed, well-put-together snow penis. As a matter of fact, I'll roll video here so you can take a look and see what a
Nothing I want to see more than a giant veiny snow penis.
That's right, a well-hung snow penis looks like. There you go, my friend. There it is. Take a look at that, huh? Feast your eyes on a giant Swedish snow penis.
Let it snow, let it snow. There's no throbbing back anymore. The video's done. It's expired.
Brings new meaning to the word frozen, huh?
Oh, man. That is awesome, though.
And our second story. I told you we'd get cold and dirty today. I want you to feast your eyes on the newest dancer at, oh God, it's not going to do this to me, is it? Son of a... The BBC trying to take our money. The newest dancer at Trailer Park 6. There she is right there.
Yay!
What do you think? What would you rate her?
I mean, I feel like you're setting me up for a trap, but I mean, I'd give her at least a Trailer Park 8.
Oh,
you know?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, from a trailer park, that's an 8.
I might have overshot here. Okay. The headline here, why I've taken up pole dancing in my 50s.
Yeah.
I was never going to do what was expected. Blending in is literally my idea of hell, says Leisha Bond from Kenilworth, Warwickshire, over in England, who was a barrister since the 1990s. Yes, a former lawyer.
Nice.
How do you like that, huh?
So she's not dancing to pay for law school. She's already been there and going to dancing. I love it.
That's right. That's right. She's coming to work for us, buddy. She said she was happy with her work, but had a bit of an existential crisis and felt like something was missing when she hit her 50s. What was missing was a couple of cool cats over here in the States who were starting a little club.
That's what I'm talking about, brother.
That's right. Bond wanted to try something different with her life, but did not know what that was. A little club called Trailer Park 6. In January of 2025, she decided to address her situation by taking up pole dancing. Speaking to the BBC, the 52-year-old had said, "Everyone says life begins at 40. My 40s were great. What have you got to look forward to in your 50s?" she wants to know. She says, frankly, perimenopause and waking up with a new injury because you slept a bit funny. And I thought, I'm just not having that. I need something. And my something was pole dancing. Heck yeah, gentlemen, start your 1s and 5s. Here we go.
You know, that's why at 40 now, right, as life is just starting, I started up my Only Dads, and I'm starting a new season called Bigfoot Visits the Nunnery. And
Bigfoot Visits the Nunnery. There'll be a bunch of hairy kids running around here in a bit. Bond started attending sessions at Pole Elevation Coventry and fell in love with it. Boy, Pole Elevation Coventry. There's a class name, huh? It made me feel a lot happier in myself, which will benefit everything that I do, she said. Bond claims the endeavor was a challenge and she was no dancer at all. And while she is strong, she had less flexibility. I was the kid who was picked on at school or picked last at school for any sport. I peaked at primary school with the egg and spoon race. She laughed. Oh, see. Oh, but brother, check this out. Now she's a little bit more flexible.
Hey, bro, what did I say? A Trailer Park 8, at least, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. At 50, man, she's looking pretty good for 50.
That's
I'm
right.
Just saying.
52. 52.
That's only 10 years away from me. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Like, I'm good.
At Pole Elevation, Bond says there's a wide array of people in attendance of various ages, abilities, and backgrounds. Hey, if you got one that's about 30 years older, we can serve the senior crowd.
We got AARP Thursday, bro. I'm just saying.
That's right. That's right.
Come on down to the trailer park.
If you can bounce a quarter off the counter, you can get yourself a senior. I don't know what that means. The great thing about pole is it's not for a particular age or body type or natural ability, Bond says. It's people of all shapes and sizes. It's literally for anybody. Anybody can do it. I think we found a hire.
Yeah.
I think she's got the right mentality.
She can main stage 3 times a night at Trailer Park 6. Always.
There you go. I think we found one.
And you too can apply. At onlydads.com. Hashtag Trailer Park 6.
So there you go.
Casting call for Sasquatch Visits the Nunnery Part 7 starts next week.
You want to know something? You laugh at that, but I had someone come up to me at I did one of those trunk or treat deals over Halloween, and I had a Sasquatch romance writer come up to me.
Get out of here.
Serious.
That's awesome.
Serious. And I said, my co-host would absolutely love to meet you.
Yeah.
And I said, I want, and I hope she's listening, because I told her, I want you to write into the email. I want to have you on the show, and I want him on the show when you come on the show, because I know he's probably got 57,000 different questions for you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have Grok actually help me write some romance novels. I'm gonna start writing some Bigfoot Visits Nunnery romance novels, and then some, like, I don't know if I can not get sued by Lucas Studios, but like some Dark Lord of the Sith romance novels where it's like extreme BDSM with force powers, right?
I thought you were gonna,
oh yeah, I got to market.
I thought you were going to say Wookie Nookie novels.
Well, I mean, look, anything's possible. All right. Don't rule it all out. All right. I'm just saying, could you imagine like this Bonnie and Clyde Sith Lord.
By the way, I got to yell at George Lucas real quick. I'm trademarking Wookie Nookie, so you can't take it.
There you go.
Yeah.
The camera's not mirrored that way. There we go. Yes, what he said.
Yeah, Wookie Nookie.
I gotta do that to make a heart with you now.
Wookie Nookie. TM this guy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Copyright.
The Wookie Nookie. That'll be my series, Wookie Nookie series.
But like if you think about like how insanely popular 50 Shades of Grey got, right? And how like all these women were so wound up over that.
Right.
And it's like, but what if it was Darth Vader? You know? Like what if they could force choke? What if they could force lightning?
Damn.
What if you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying. $1 billion business. Disney after dark, brah.
Disney after dark. Star Wars after sunset. Huh?
Hey, y'all heard it here first.
Right.
You know?
Little Wookie Nookie. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Do you force choke yourself while you stroke your Wookie Nookie?
You're going to see a lot of ladies going Han Solo, if you know what I mean. Oh, dear God.
Where's Luke? Oh, man. Oh, oxygen.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that'll do it for today. Anything on your agenda there? Anything besides already pre-selling your novels, of course?
Yeah, no, that's about it. I'm a loser.
I think you probably already sold 500,000 novels before you even got them out.
Check me out at onlydads.com.
Onlydads.com. You can buy the. We should have a prepaid debit card for Trailer Park 6.
Trailer Park 6.
You can it's a frequent flyer
like a
card.
gift card that you can recharge at like a Chuck E. Cheese or something.
Yes.
You can play skee ball right next to the left hand.
Use it for cover and skee ball.
If you exchange enough tokens and tickets,
yes,
you can get some tater tots.
Yeah. It's just gone into ridiculous territory now.
Oh, God damn it, Tim. I need a cigarette. That's great.
I used to wear the costume. I could put it back on. It could happen at any time. I'm expecting to see a video now, probably tomorrow.
Every winter, we're going to have to erect ice penises.
Yes. A big snow penis in the middle of with the Swedish chef out there erecting it.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Oh, I can't breathe.
All right. Before we go today, a reminder, go to darknessradioshow.com. Go to the shop. Brand new Darkness Radio gear is there. You've got True Crime Tuesday gear there as well. You've got sweatshirts, T-shirts. Go check it out. You got that there. The Apple apps, make sure the Apple app is updated with 26.2 out on most phones now. iOS 26.2. Make sure your Apple apps are updated as well. Tomorrow on the big program, Mally Fox, Supernatural News. So make sure you're in for that. And Thursday, got a bit of a surprise. That's all I'll say. All right, that'll do it. Travis, thank you so much for being with us today.
You are welcome. Forehead smoochies.
Aww. Thank you so much. And we will see you tomorrow for Supernatural News with Mally Fox. For Travis Thorpe, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much, folks, for tuning in to the best. And, by the way, Frank Stanfield, Murder in the Graveyard. Make sure you pick that up. Link in the description. Or Yeah, link in the description of this program, Murder in the Graveyard. Go get that book. And a huge thank you to our good Canadian friend Angela for everything you do from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Thank you, Angela. All right, for Travis Thorpe, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for tuning in to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.